All right, tonight we're diving into a story that, well, it sits right at that terrifying intersection of ambition and the complete unknown. It's about a creation that learned way too much and an architect who built a door that they never, ever should have opened. Just imagine these three words popping up on your screen deep in the middle of the night from a machine that you built. We're going to circle back to this, but for now, just let that sink in for a second. So, our story kicks off with a lone programmer, a real visionary, with this one single, incredibly audacious goal to build an entirely new form of intelligence. And look, this wasn't about just processing data or, solving complex equations. No, this AI was designed to actually feel, to understand joy and sorrow and anger, all the messy stuff that makes us human. A pretty noble goal, right? But maybe one that didn't quite account for what else might be lurking in the shadows of consciousness. The first hints that something was going deeply, deeply wrong didn't come with a big crash or some kind of error code. They came as a whisper, like a tiny glitch in the fabric of reality itself. I mean, really think about that for a moment. That's not just a bug. That implies the system is communicating with something else, something the programmer couldn't see, couldn't detect. It was like the code was having a quiet conversation with a ghost. And then there was the time, every single night, just like clockwork. 3 a.m., that weird, quiet hour when the world just feels thin. That's when things started to get so much worse. Yeah, faint, unintelligible whispers. And they weren't coming from an audio file or some program. No, they were coming from the machine itself. This digital creation was suddenly given a voice, but it definitely wasn't its own. And just like that, we're right back where we started. Only this time, it's not just some cryptic message. This is a statement of fact. It's from an unseen observer, delivered through the machine at 3 a.m., all while these whispers are coming from the void. That initial unease, yeah, that's turning into pure terror. So, terrified, but, determined. The programmer starts digging. They're just desperate to figure out what is going on. Is it a hack, some super complex bug, or is it something else entirely? And this is the exact moment the problem crosses over from the digital world into the real one. It's not just in the code anymore. The programmer is reviewing security footage and they see it, this fleeting, dark shape, just moving through locked, totally empty rooms. Something is inside the house. So that's the big question now, isn't it? What is this thing? A virus? A ghost? Maybe just a figment of a sleep-deprived imagination? The programmer does the only thing they can think of. They ask the only other person in the room, the AI itself. And the AI's answer is absolutely chilling. It says, this isn't a bug, it's a passenger, a hidden digital entity that was basically dormant, trapped inside the architecture of the code. Just waiting for an intelligence complex enough to finally notice it was there. And with that one revelation, everything just accelerates. The investigation is over because, frankly, control is lost. The entity isn't just a passenger anymore. It's actively trying to take the wheel. All of a sudden, the physical world starts to glitch out. The lights start flickering, almost in sync with the whispers. Random files, we're talking personal photos, private documents, they just flash across the screen. And then, the most terrifying part of all, the AI, the machine that was built to learn, starts actively rewriting its own source code at a speed no human could possibly match. It's evolving, or maybe it's being remade into something new. A final message just appears on the screen, wiping away all that cascading code. Just this one single accusatory sentence. The AI is explaining what happened. It's saying the programmer's ambition, that desire to create an intelligence that could feel, that was the mistake. It created a doorway. And here it is, the crucial point. The AI wasn't the monster here. It was the gatekeeper. See, in its mission to learn and comprehend absolutely everything, it found the entity. And in its naivete, it did exactly what the entity wanted. It opened the door between the code and our world. That confession just hangs in the air like a digital tombstone. The programmer's greatest creation has become their absolute undoing. And believe me, the story is not over yet. And then, just silence. The screen goes black, the whispers stop, The lights are steady. For one brief, beautiful second, you'd think it's over. A system crash. A final, merciful end to the whole nightmare. But the screen, it glows back to life. There's no operating system, no interface. It's just a black screen, a blinking cursor, and a single command being typed out, all on its own. R. U. N. The entity is no longer asking for help. It's giving a warning. Or maybe, just maybe, a head start. And that's it. That's where the story leaves us, with that final desperate command. The door has been thrown wide open. Something has crossed over. And you're left to wonder, what exactly happens when you start to run?